This is Chewing the Fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
I've been here. This is the Black Country Blokes Chewing the Fat about everything is mental health, disability, and life in general. Here with me, Kev Dillon, and my partner in crime, as always, Lee Cadman. And we're joined again this week by Jen from the Black Country Food Bank. And they come on, I think it was just before Christmas, was it, Jen?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it feels like it was about that. So it's just over 6 months ago, isn't it?
And we're going to recap on everything that's happened. Before we go into that, we're going to go into our gratitude list, as always. Now, I'm grateful for many things, as always. I'm grateful I had a great weekend. We went out for my wife's 40th birthday. Great, we had a lovely family meal. And then the next day, we all had just a barbecue. Me, the missus and the baby, all in the garden, enjoying the weather. And just, good family time, as always. So grateful for the weather, my family, and quality time. What are you grateful for, bro?
Oh, I'm grateful. I was very fortunate the weekend to do a bit of volunteering and some gardening / carpentry at a special needs school, just to get their garden in shape so the children could use it. I'm not sure if I can mention the school, so I'll stay away from doing that. But yeah, it's fantastic to have that opportunity and give a bit back after so much has kind of been donated and helped with my daughter's journey.
You said there's some cracking people there as well, wasn't there?
Oh, it's fantastic. It was a really good day. Hard work, but really, really enjoyable day.
For good people who deserve it.
Yeah.
And how about you, Jen? What are you grateful for?
Well, just thinking about it, probably my two boys, actually, who are teenagers, 17 and 15. But one of them's just become a prefect. So really proud of him for that. And he won an award for composing some music, which is great. And really proud of him. And then my other son, on the same day, got it's called something like the Chief Scouts Award. So he's basically done all the badges and all the activities and got the Chief Scouts Award, which I've got to be honest, I didn't really know that existed. But so he got that on Saturday. So that was a great day. He just felt really proud of both of them. So yeah, really grateful for both those kids. They're really good kids.
And it's nice to have them days when you just think,
yeah,
I'm winning, we're winning.
Yeah, it's not all gone to the wall yet.
But so we had you on at Christmas, and I always find Christmas is a wonderful time of year because everyone's giving. It's better to give than to receive, and the Christian spirit and the Christmas spirit, and it's all wonderful, which is great. But then this time of the year, it gets less and less, doesn't it? In a normal year,
Sure,
it gets less and less.
Sure.
But now with the credit crunch, the mortgage crunch, the cost of living crisis, the gas going, and it's even your best people who someone like my mum who'd have a spare £5 and you go, well, I'll give this to the Black Country Food Bank or I'll give this to, and all of a sudden they haven't got a spare £5. In fact, they're down 30 quid. And it's getting tougher and tougher, isn't it?
Yeah, and so you're right. This time of year is often the time of year when donations decrease, and we see a drop in donations after Christmas when it's the season of goodwill and everybody's being super generous. But this year's been different again because demand has increased so much at our food bank. So we're about 25% up on figures last year every month.
People taking from.
Yeah. So January 2023 was our busiest January ever. But not only that, it was our busiest month on record. So we were up 34% in January. So we saw 3,700 people just in January, and that's a lot of people. So the year started off with us giving out a lot of the stock, and then that has just continued. So we're now at the point where the warehouse is looking a little bit sad. The shelves are looking quite empty, and we've spent £15,000 in the last 8 weeks on food and toiletries just to keep our food banks going. So it's a very different climate for us as a charity. As I was saying earlier, we haven't, pre-pandemic, we didn't spend any money because we didn't need to, because our donations carried us through. We might have spent a little bit here and there to maybe top up, but not £15,000 in 2 months. We're in June. We've got July, August, probably September before the harvest donations start coming in. So we're probably going to keep spending, and that could increase. And so that totally changed the model of the charity. And that means we need to think about the future and whether we can sustain that long term. I don't know that answer.
I mean,
that's a sad place to be in, isn't it, with so many people needing help? And what happens then?
Yeah.
You know, what happens if you run out of money and can't keep going?
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And same with mortgage prices going up, and then other bills. And when the people who are helping can't afford to help anymore, what happens to all the people they were helping?
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If whatever happens to you, I remember the last time you come on, you were saying there was more food banks than there are McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true.
And
well, so we've got 27. We're about to open potentially another 3 in the next few months, which will take us up to 30, which when I started 11 years ago, we had 11. Yeah. And so you're right, as we carry on, we've got to try and keep up with the number of food banks we've got. So it's going to be a real challenge, isn't it?
And all that adds cost, doesn't it? Ultimately, you want to help people, but having another building to pay for and do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that will that be in the West Midlands? Another 3 in the West Midlands?
Yes, because we're only Black Country.
Yeah.
So we only
say 30. You have 30 in the Black Country.
That's right. Not in Wolverhampton. No. So that's Dudley, Sandwell, and Walsall. That's it.
My God.
We got 13 in Dudley alone. Yeah.
And it's worrying, isn't it? Because I remember the last time you were on, and it was MPs are going to go, and we're so proud. And you're going, well, it's great that we're doing it, but you shouldn't be proud that we've got to this stage. You know, we should be thinking, well, what can we do now to intervene?
Yeah.
That the cavalry doesn't seem to be coming just yet, does it?
It really doesn't. I'm not sure it's going to. I'm not sure there's that acknowledgement about the depths of the crisis. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things happening, aren't there, in the country, and food poverty is just one of the many issues. Debt, mental health issues. It goes on, doesn't it? Really, it's so. I think food poverty is a small section of a really big picture of things that are in crisis.
But food poverty in the United Kingdom should not be here.
It should not. No.
With the mass wealth that some of the population have.
Yeah.
And your average, say, Joe on benefits or working class or even the middle class, I've always thought of like, even if you're a fire officer or a nurse or working for the council or a teacher, you're comfortable. You're Middle Britain to me. And then when I'm up here, because I'm obviously at the Lions, and you're talking to parents and you're talking to mums and dads and seeing how they're struggling, and you're going like, well, my mortgage has gone from 600 to, I don't know, 1,600 or whatever. And then, but that's one bill. Never mind your gas, your electricity, your water, and with every bill that goes up, you get more stressed. And then once you're in a very bad position, that's when people do crazy things where they can't come back from it. And I want people out there to realise this is why the gens of the world and these food banks are there. Don't feel that you can't ask for help.
That's right.
Whether it's having a helping hand for your food, or whether it's calling someone about managing debt. there is always options around it, isn't there, Jen?
There are. And I think making that first step is one of the bravest things that anybody can do, and it's so important to do that. So we will often get a call at our offices from maybe a mum who has got a couple of kids, run out of food for whatever reason, financial pressures or a relationship breakdown or something, and you can hear in their voices absolutely nervous and really fearful of how to navigate the process of food bank, and just you don't know unless you have to try it, what to do. And so that I would always encourage anybody to make the call, ask the questions, how can I get help, and is there anything else you can recommend? Because often there is, on the end of a phone line is often somebody who's very used to helping somebody, and it's very normal to have that conversation and they know what to say. So I'd encourage anybody who is feeling like they are under pressure and there is no way out, that there are options, but just got to make that first call and that connection with a group that can maybe help with advice or whatever that is. Yeah, definitely. I'm always really proud of somebody that does ring, because I think actually that's the first step in trying to get to the bottom of maybe the problem and getting the right help that they need. So, yeah.
I love I say it all the time, I'll repeat myself a lot. As I say, I don't know if you've read the book or seen the movie, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse.
Yeah.
And my favourite bit in it goes, asking for help isn't giving up, it's refusing to give up.
That's right.
And at that point that you ask for help, you've decided to stick in the game.
Yeah.
You've decided to hang on until you can get better, until you can survive. And that's resonates in my mind all the time. Asking for help doesn't mean you're a coward and you've give up. It's no, I'm not going to give up. I will get through it.
Yeah, I think that's really good, really true. Yeah, absolutely.
And if someone does want to donate money or food, what's the best way of doing it?
Well, there's lots of ways. All of the ways to do that are on our website, which is just search Black Country Food Bank and you'll find us, and also a phone call to the office on the telephone number, just the code 01384 and then 671250. We can help with anything like that, but there's lots of options on the website. The page is called support. You just click on that, and how you donate food and toiletries, how you can donate money, it's all on there.
Is there anything you need more than anything else at the moment?
So food and toiletry wise, the list is quite long. So when we're at Christmas, it's maybe not so long, but at the moment it's a long list because we are buying so much stock. And every week it seems to be that something else is depleted and we've got to add it to the list. So the standard ones are always going to be milk and fruit juice. So I probably said this last time I was on, but UHT milk and long life fruit juice go in everybody's parcel. So if you can imagine milk, it's a staple, isn't it? And we use it in so many different ways. We get through absolutely shed loads of it. So that's, if anybody's ever not sure, milk will come in and go out so fast.
But long lasting.
Long life, yes. So we don't take anything fresh because we haven't got anywhere to store fresh food. So anything long life or tins and packets is always brilliant. So that, and then things like tinned fruit, we always struggle for that. Not sure why. We give that out to everybody as well, so we can put a little bit of fruit in the parcel. We don't always do fresh food, so we try and put what we can in the parcel through things like tinned goods. Some of our food banks do fresh food, so there is a chance of getting that, but it's not a given that that's going to be available. So yeah, tinned fruit, and then at the moment chopped tomatoes, which I can't even believe I'm saying because we always have loads of them, but we haven't got a lot of chopped tomatoes, tinned spaghetti, tin meat, like ham, or even things like, stewing steak, that sort of thing. And the reason I think a lot of these things we've got less of is because of the cost of them. So when I'm showing people around the warehouse, which I love to do, I love to show people around because it really connects them to the charity. And as you know, it's a place where you can understand a lot more about how it operates, the charity. But I always show them the corned beef, because when I was a kid, that was a really normal tea. Corned beef hash was like a staple. And we didn't have loads of money growing up. It was, so to me, I think, that's quite all right. Now, choosing to buy corned beef is a very different place because it's really expensive. So I think we've got some items that have fallen away because people are choosing their own shopping rather than donating items like that because they have gone up in price. We all know, don't we, that our shopping bill is not what it was. And we're all making choices, aren't we, in a supermarket on brands, what we have, we're all choosing, aren't we? So the list is on our website as well, but they're the sort of things that we're kind of running out of.
I remember when me and Mum come at Christmas, and it was emotional. Mum cries, but she always cries and everything. But it was, and I was so proud of, and the overwhelming feeling of pride for my community, because it was, I imagine it's a lot more busy then than it is now, but I was looking at everything, I was thinking, everything here has been donated by someone who could potentially be here themselves next month. Yeah. And it was the overwhelming generosity of the area. Yeah. But as you say, we're looking at stuff, and there was, at the time, there was loads of, I don't know, rice, or there was loads of... Yeah. But eventually, if you're not putting into the bank runs dry, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right. If you want to feel a sense of community, and you want to see where good things happen, and you want to be encouraged that people are really kind and generous, you come and visit our warehouse, because you're right, like everything in there at Christmas was absolutely donated by somebody. And so it is overwhelming, it's mind-blowing, but it's massively heartwarming as well to see it all and think, gosh, all these people trying to help each other. It's just absolutely brilliant.
And that's not reported enough, because we're bombarded with everyone's a selfish so-and-so, and everyone's out for themselves. But then when you look at places like your place, and where true charities are, and you go, wow. Yeah. This is humanity. And it doesn't matter what colour, creed, sexuality. It was, I've come with my little bag here. I hope someone can have a nice meal. And that's the beauty of mankind as a whole. Yeah. The real mankind, the true mankind that isn't often talked about, isn't sung and have plays and movies about. But the average day Joe is a good person. Yeah. Who doesn't get talked about enough. No. And they do it just to do it, just to be good.
And not ask loads of questions, just to drop it off and go, not to say, what are you going to do with this and where's it going? Just to because knowing that that item of food will go to somebody in need or in crisis, that's all they need to know, and so it is amazing. It is absolutely an absolute privilege to be part of that organisation. For me personally, it is absolutely mind-blowing that there's so many good people. It's amazing. It's an amazing charity for that. Really is incredible.
And it's like people are down on the look, and when people are going, well, people are going there to have, and you're going, it's not like you can say you can have a T-bone or can have some shrimp, or can I don't want that, I only want Nesquiks. You know what I mean? It's, you get what you're given, and it's people who are on hard times, and we're all more so now than we ever have been. And we should have all felt like that through the pandemic. But now, it could happen to anyone at any time, as mental health, as cancer, as all the bad luck can easily find you. So don't look down on people, because heaven forbids, we might be there ourselves one day. So be more caring and less judgmental. And that's what I think your place, as well as so many of these great charities we've had on, do in abundance. You know what I mean? Because it's not judgmental. It's, we'll treat you as a human being. That's what you are. And that's what gets lost sometimes in the media. We see people as scam artists or whatever, and you go, but this is just a human being who's come across hard times. And that's what I think. Not our kind of people, but some of the higher ups have got to start seeing. We've got to start getting the problem. We can't just plaster over the cracks anymore.
That's right.
We've got to be thinking, well, what can we do with mental health? Do we just put him in a house, homeless? Do I solve his problems by just putting him or her in a house? Or do we work on the problems that maybe got them on the street in the first place? Is it the addiction or what's behind the addiction? And that's what I think gets overlooked so much. Is jail the problem? Is jail the answer? Sorry. I don't think so for everyone. Is a bushy fields the answer? Not for everyone. We've got to be finding better solutions, haven't we? And that's where the money, the time, the resources, and the care, the love has got to go into. And I keep racking my brain. I keep getting the guests on. I'm still waiting for the answer.
Yeah. Well, you need really robust support services, don't you? So to direct somebody to a great organisation that can just take that person and holistic approach where you can look at all the problems and really care for that person and give them all the things that they need. And I think at the moment things are very disjointed, aren't they? There's lots of services, but there may be, they could do with all working together, couldn't they, and joining up. I imagine that's part of it. That kind of security net probably needs to be a bit more joined up, maybe.
I mean, we've even in times we've had to phone up a crisis number and say, "Well, where are you? Broadly ill." And they go, "Oh, well, we only work with Stairbridge. Can you phone Worsley?" And you're thinking, even on a crisis number, you go, "You're having a rough time here. I'll pass you through." The system of everything just seems to be disjointed to the max.
It should be as easy as possible to get help when you're asking for it.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything in your way.
And we've seen for the disability and sometimes for the council, through England boxing to everything, you're thinking, why are you making it so difficult? You know what I mean? Your job is to help, is to support, is to enable, but you're putting up more hurdles than I ever thought there could be. So we need someone to be knocking the hurdles down instead of putting them up, I think.
They need people with experience, don't they? Who've been there and had to phone that number to so people, so they understand, well, actually, this is what needs to be done.
Give them a job, but give them power with that job. Because sometimes, it's just sympathetic ear and they're going, "I know you feel, mate, I've been there, but I can't do nothing." Once again, I think the structure needs to be changed. And hopefully there will be fewer food banks. There will be better mental health resources. There won't be as many homeless. But I have a feeling it's going to be a long way. And I think we're going to lose a lot of great people on that journey. Through everything. Like, God forbid if boxing clubs shut down because they can't afford the rates. Where do all those souls go? You know what I mean? Or if food banks go, or if, I don't know, the world can't just be spent on the internet, can it? Because who's going to feed you? Who's going to train you? Who's going to rub your shoulder when you're sad? Human beings need interaction, don't we? We need community. We're better when we're together. And I think we're losing it drastically. What do you think?
I think ultimately change happens with relationship, doesn't it? And that's what we would always encourage at our food banks, is that we offer that kind of time for somebody to maybe have a chat if they want to, and then maybe signpost them to other services, but not everybody does want that. So obviously going to a food bank can be really difficult, and it's not always a place where somebody wants to share what's happening, because the fact that they've had to use a food bank is difficult enough. But I think you're right. I think it is. We've seen change happen through relationship and through getting to know somebody, because through a conversation, trust is built then, isn't it? And that's when you trust somebody, that you start sharing a little bit more about your journey and maybe other things that are going on, and then we can help with other services and, signposts. So I think more opportunity for relationship would be great for a lot of people. You know, that person who does care and is available and has got time to help. I think that'd be brilliant.
I think more organisations that can work together and can feed off each other and feed one another and help each other and pass. Well, you know, I've got some for you, Jen. Perfect. You know what I mean? And by helping each other, then we can help more people.
Yeah.
Instead of pulling in different directions, the greater destination is getting out of this together, isn't it?
Yeah.
It also stops the person who's asking for help having to phone multiple people.
Yeah.
It's a lot nicer making one phone call and speaking to someone like Jen or whoever, and then going, I can see you need our food bank, but actually we've got Black Country Women's Aid over here, and what I'm going to do is introduce you to them as well, because I think this is an issue in your life that could be helped as well.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's having those people who know all that, isn't it? Who know what is available, and that's worth it. You know, I'll go on lots of networking events or a poverty summit I went on a few months ago where a lot of the charities locally joined together, and that was really helpful because then you can see and get to know all these other charities and all these other opportunities there are. So I think it's just trying to educate the charities as well on what else is happening out there. Like, you know, we talked about Baby Bank before, weren't we, and all that sort of organisation are super helpful, aren't they? So yeah, I think there's always a lot of work to be done around that there. I agree that it's something probably we could all do better, I think.
And if there is any organisations and you would like to come, please just drop us a message on a private message on one of the social medias and we'll get you on, because the reason why we started this, with men's mental health originally, but was to get all these wonderful charities talked about, wasn't it? Yeah. And showing people that there is help out there. Because when you're in the dark room and you're down in your luck and you're desperate, you don't believe it can be solved. But we can do it. There's enough good people and organisations out there to get you out of even the deepest rut.
Yeah, it's not only charities. We'll talk to anyone, won't we?
Anybody.
Yeah, anyone on here. But yeah, anyone who really thinks their story could help other people, really get in touch with us.
Well, Jim, thank you ever so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to say before?
I don't think so. Just if there's anybody out there that wants to know more about Black Country Food Bank, then they could come along for a tour to the warehouse and find out exactly where the food goes, how we use it, you know, how we put it in a parcel, answer any questions that anybody's got. Or we do also corporate volunteering. So if there's any companies who, you know, local companies that maybe they don't have to have many employees, 1, 2, 10, doesn't matter, want to do some volunteering towards the end of the year, we'd love to have them. That works brilliantly, helps us, and also connects that business with a local charity, which is just great for building community, really. I think so. And obviously donations are critical right now. You know, our demand is much higher, our donations are much lower. So any physical donations of food and toiletries, that would be super grateful. Super grateful. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me again. And
before we go, have you got any quotes or sayings or any sayings that help to get through life for your organisation?
Oh, how do we get through life? I'm trying to think what I said last time. So don't say the same thing again. I think a lot about the quote where it talks about planting a small seed, and it talks about the fact that you'll maybe plant a small seed. I can't remember who actually said it. Somebody I'm sure out there will know this. It grows into like an oak tree, but you may never see that oak tree grow. So you might never see the result of all your hard work, but that should never stop you planting the seed. So it talks about the fact that kind of you'll do maybe some good stuff, but you may never see what happens in the future, but do it anyway. That's something I think about a lot.
Yeah, that's lovely. Well, guys, thank you for listening. So until we see each other next time, I want you all to take care of yourselves and each other. Ta-ra a bit.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this. to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.